So, how did this whole thing start? It was about 7 years ago. There was a local barbecue contest happening in our town on Long Island. Great event, community event, fundraising for those in need. We entered the contest. I was quite into barbecue. Didn't really know probably as much as I know now. Decided to enter. And before entry, it was really about we need to make a barbecue sauce. We can't go buy something off the shelf. So I've never really made one before. I never made a sauce of that nature, and I started doing some research. And got my kids involved in that process. I cook a lot. They enjoy cooking and tasting what I make, and I thought, let's get them involved in what this recipe could be. So when you start investigating barbecue sauces, it's broken up into a few different components. There's ketchup, typically. Depends on the type. There's ketchup, there's a mustard component, there's a Worcestershire sauce component, and then there's all sorts of other spices and sweeteners that can be introduced. The goal from my perspective was, how do you create something that's more of a balanced flavor profile, right? Where it's not too sweet, it's not too vinegary, it's not too hot, it's balanced. And I think the first batch that we ever made was a pretty good starting point of our kind of thought around a tangy front, a sweet middle, and a bit of a spicier back end. And that kind of evolved. Now, we entered the contest that year with our first ever batch of this product. The name didn't exist back then. Saucy Rascals did not exist. What we had was a barbecue sauce that we used in that contest that we did put in some squeeze bottles and we put on the tables, and people came around and tasted the product. Quite a few people said, "What is this?" I said, "We just made some sauce." And they said, "This is really good. You should bottle this." Ha ha, joke, joke. Sounds like a great idea. Now that year we ended up winning Best Ribs, number 1 out of 12 teams. It was a lot of fun. I guess I was surprised to some extent because I hadn't really ever done that before. I was obviously very happy, and our first ever batch was kind of based off of that really local charity fundraiser type of an event.